Hi. Playing some Forza Horizon again. But don't worry, I'm probably gonna play some other games soon as well. I just happen to be in a car mood. You know, I was thinking about playing some Battlefields. Possibly in a plural. Now that I have this somewhat faster connection. It might actually be able to handle it. Hello, No Joe. How you doing? And look at that, I've even sold some cars. That's good. My garage was getting kinda full. Not sure what we're gonna do this time. I mean, we completed the Top Gear stuff last time. Maybe I'll just do some regular races. You already forgot the why. Oh yeah. I did. Regular races or seasonal challenges and races to earn some cars and super wheel spins, mayhaps. Could be. I do like getting some more cars. You know, especially now that I've cleared some space in my garage. Could fill up the empty space with some new ones for sure. Seasonal races can have some of the cars from Backstage Pass. That sounds pretty good. This one's probably not gonna be quite as long as the last stream though. I do intend to work out again tonight. Trying to get back into shape and shit. Just been sitting this whole goddamn year. And most of December too. Just been what do the bodybuilders call it? I've been bulking. So, you know, I figured now that I'm not studying and I also don't have a job at the moment, so you know, I have free time. So maybe instead of spending all of that on playing a Battlefield this time, I should use it for something more productive. Like making games, making software, working out. Maybe even doing some cardio, God knows. Haven't done any of that since like fucking November. Unless you can't like walk into the store, which I guess counts, you know, that's a good 2 kilometers. Half of which I have to be carrying groceries, so I don't know. Get yourself a sim setup and you're gonna work out while sitting. I know, I'm a genius. Yeah, I probably would if I could afford it at the moment, but I can't because, you know, of the aforementioned unemployment. And kind of looks like that's not gonna be resolved anytime soon because the job market is fucked. I'll probably just have to, I don't know, start drawing porn. Could probably do. Yeah, it sucks. But what can you do? You just gotta improvise and adapt. I think that's actually the motto of the Marines or something. You'd watch it. Nice. So I already have at least one potential customer. You know, I joke, but honestly, that might be a pretty good, like, fallback. You know, I can get unemployment for at least 3 months. But beyond that, I'm not exactly sure how it works. I mean, I'm sure I can get it for longer because I know some people like live on unemployment for years. But I would prefer not to, like, have to keep going back to the whatever the place is called, where you gotta go and explain your sad story. Why you don't have a job yet. So who knows? Maybe that's something I'll end up doing. Also, I do have some bad news when it comes to porn. Men usually start out in the gay industry as a matter of straight porn. Most men do it for free and it's ignored, but in gay porn, you can get scouted for straight porn. It's a weird industry. Oh yeah, I've heard that too. But yeah, I did say drawing porn, not doing porn. Although I guess, you know, the latter is an option. You know, I'm not conceited. I know what I got. You know, I could probably make it, although I don't think the porn industry in this country is very big. Wouldn't that be a fucking like a wild career change? Well, you know, this whole ICT engineer thing didn't really work out, so you know, I guess I'm gonna start fucking bots. That's a pretty natural progression, right? I gotta get my renewal for unemployment soon myself and gotta get ahead of it by a few months, because it takes them a month to accept. Yeah, that's how it is. Over here too, I mean, I've been waiting on it for like 2 weeks now. But apparently by the 3rd week they should have their decision. Hopefully they'll get back to me soon, because ooh. So these are like the seasonal things, I guess. Furry porn is the Just a moment. Okay, never mind. For a moment there I felt like I was gonna have to make a run for the bathroom, but no, I think it was just false alarm. Furry porn is the way to go. A lot of furry customers with deep pockets and usually a love for artists. Yeah. Sadly, that is true. Like, I've never drawn furry stuff, you know, because I'm into people. But that is unfortunately very true. They, you know, that's the, that's the meme, isn't it? The furry art patrons with suspiciously deep pockets. Although I have a theory that they're not really any wealthier than anybody else, but you know, they just have different priorities. I like this car. It's a nice car. I think there's another one that I might buy one day if I have the means. And if the globalists don't ban gas cars by 2030 or whatever the World Economic Forum plan is. Don't text and drive, kids. That happens. I mean, my doctor is doing porn on the side on Chaturbate, so why not? Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, fuck it. Who cares? So many people have OnlyFans accounts, so wouldn't even be that weird. A fake Asian. That's interesting. I've known a couple of those. Wait, how do you know if your doctor's doing porn though? Have you like seen it? Start the seasonal red thing and it opens 3 white ones and you gotta do the 3 white. Don't go back to the red one, it will restart the event. Okay. A friend of mine went to art school and I told her if she wants to make it a job she should do furry porn. And she's a Christian, so it was an awkward convo. Yeah, I can imagine. Speaking of Christians and porn, by the way. You know, not that my drawings necessarily qualify as porn, but I have noticed a suspicious amount of Christians liking my drawings in the recent months. You know, just putting that out there, it's kinda interesting. I guess it's possible that they just appreciate the artistry, but you know, there is also the case of the very generous ass that is usually present. I guess I would then. Just flexing a little bit with my absolute lack of any driving assistance. I'm just a raw dog in this shit. It is a nice car, I know. These classic American muscle cars. I am a big fan. You know, this is a pretty good one, but I think my favorite is... My favorites are still the Corvette C2 and the classic Shelby GT500. Also, these cars are good drift cars in Forza games. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. All the weight is in the front, but the drive is in the rear. They just kind of drift anyways without even doing any modifications. Vacation is driving a 599X Evo, fuck that guy. Drag racing the 599X Evo is like driving a Ferrari against a car from 1930. Yeah, that's kind of annoying, you know, whenever you're just trying to have a good time and then some sweatlord just shows up in like whatever the metaphor for the game happens to be. Whether it's driving the 599X Evo in this game or, I don't know, somebody pulling up in on the pressure in GTA. Or using the AEK in Battlefield 4. It's like, come on. Where's your sense of joy? I found a clip of my doctor and the nurse's chatterbait. It was wild to see. Nice. That's always a nice little surprise, you know. You see somebody attractive and you're like, I wouldn't mind seeing them naked. And then you just stumble upon some stuff on the internet like, oh, well, there it is. And there are her breasts. Not bad. Change the difficulty to highly skilled, and remember, don't go back to the red, you gotta do the 3 whites. Well, I'll do the whites, alright. Fucking dumb. If you don't do highly skilled, you don't get the car. Well, I guess we're just gonna go. Place first against highly skilled drive avatars. Reward Honda Civic 84. Okay. It's not even sweating, it's straight up too fast and the control on it is too good. The second fastest car slides around like it's on ice, but the 599X Evo has great grip and goes like 500 kilometers an hour. What is the second fastest car? Is it the... Because I know I have a couple that go past like 450. Like the Mosler, I think. That's one of them. Highly skilled is not as hard as it sounds, it's just an ego boost, it only gets harder on unbeatable difficulty. Well, let's hope that's true.
I've heard a lot of good things about this autumn championship. Suppose I'll be hearing more now that I know you've signed up.
Oh, so these are the only cars I can use. I suppose I'll take the Clio. The second fastest is a weird one, it's 32 kilometers faster than the Mosler. I don't think I know what the second fastest is. you wanna tune them before using them also. There's a tune cap, so it's all about making as good as possible while keeping an A rank. Oh yeah, I did that for a while. I was trying to find like the fastest sleeper car, just on my own. Didn't even look anything up. Just make it like Volkswagen Carmen Giascope as like 330. Yeah, I don't know the name, I just know it's a one-seater and it's weird looking. One-seater. Is it the McLaren F1? I think that's the only one-seater I know. It used to be the fastest car in the world until the Bugatti Veyron came around. I don't think I have one of those actually. It's not that it's an old car, like a classic one. Like how classic are we talking? Are we talking like one of those like 1930s, 1940s race cars? Because now that you mention it, I do have a vague recollection of reading something about one of those being like really fast. Did you tune the car? Oh yeah, no. I forgot to. Oh well. But this is a pretty nice change of pace to the usual type of balls to the walls racing we do. This is by comparison like floating down a lazy river in a canoe. Very calm. Even though we're actually driving like 160 or something. Weird how slow it feels now. Get out of my way, Nate. Guys been following the whole Iran thing, by the way. I haven't been looking at it very closely, but I just keep seeing like new headlines every day. That Iran has appointed like a new Ayatollah. Guess it's not going too well for them. Considering they're probably gonna run out of Ayatollahs by the end of the week. Kind of wild. But I guess that's just what happens when, you know, somebody gets into a conflict with the US, who has the military budget of one aircraft carrier, you know? It is kinda sad though that the last F-14s that are in active service are now destroyed. Oh yeah, now I gotta fucking wait. God damn it. Oh no, wait, that was fast. Tune a car. What can I tune even? Not much. Well, I guess we'll just try again. Apparently it's Monaco King Coupe, not the one-seater I was thinking of. I haven't even heard of that car. I have not dive blocked all the new stuff off my feed. That's probably smart. It's just kinda sad. Also, you might wanna quit the race and tune the car. There are also seasonal tunes by other people if you wanna take a shortcut. Where do I find those? Because I mean, I don't think I own either of these cars. So can I really put stuff on them in that way? They're in Creative Hub. I do own them. And the hell like the Renault Clio. Well, I mean, I guess I have like a million cars, so shouldn't be too surprised. Also, I've stopped paying attention to the war stuff after finding out I fell for a bunch of US propaganda. Yeah, I mean, it's a war. There's always gonna be propaganda from both sides. Though to Iran's credit, at least their propaganda is funny. You know, like the pictures of the B-2 bomber that they supposed to shot down, that was like, you know, it was about the size of like a SUV, maybe. Was that a Mikasa library? Was it? I didn't notice. Okay, well this seems terrifying. I'm just... oh, that's 100 grand, never mind. Spending 100 grand on a Renault Clio tune. Well, that's more reasonable, I suppose. Let's see, any other ones? That's just absurd. I don't know, 183 seems not that much, but I guess the OG is 106, so, you know, 80% boost the power. 500 I feel is a bit much. Well, this one is 224. Yeah, I don't know, let's go for the 700. But I fell for AI-generated propaganda. I've never felt more shame. Yeah, I mean, it's getting the AI stuff is getting like pretty visually convincing. At least in a way, if you're just scrolling past, you might just glance the headline and you're, you don't look too closely at it. I can see how you'd fall for it. I have to. It sucks, when you realize for the first time, like, oh, that's not a real thing. But you do eventually, learn to look for the right things, so... I don't know if AI, or at least the AI we have, can get to a point where it's just completely foolproof. But... Can I just use the car I have? You're restricted to C600. Oh. Oh, that was a waste of money. Well, I don't know why I'm worrying about money anyways, because... 18.6 million credits. I think I'll be fine. So, whatever, I guess we can just go swap it out. Let's do this one. Like all those videos of Venezuelans in the streets celebrating was fake. I mean, not all of them. Some of them were definitely real. Actually, a lot of them were quite real. For sure, but a lot of them were fake. Yeah. Once again, you get those from both sides. There were lots of fake videos of people celebrating it, and lots of fake videos of people being sad about it. But as far as I could tell, most of the real videos were of Venezuelans celebrating it. And the real videos of people being sad about it were Western leftists, who I guarantee have never been to Venezuela. I don't really particularly enjoy America being the world police, but also, Maduro wasn't he wasn't a popular guy over there. By all metrics, that guy fucked up what used to be a very, very rich country. And for no reason. And I guess the Iran thing is kind of the same. Yeah, I guess it's nice if the Iranian people don't have to live under the current regime anymore. Because it is a pretty fucking brutal dictatorship that have just been, gunning down their own citizens when they try to protest. I don't really need to say it, but... Or I shouldn't need to say it, but... I'm guessing living under strict Sharia law isn't very fun. It isn't very pleasant. But also, like, you know, as always when the US is involved, are things gonna change for the better if they start, you know, nation building? Maybe not. Or maybe they will, I don't know. That's the thing, you never know. There's so much misinformation, so many variables at play, you can't really know what's gonna happen. As with any kind of war, all you can really hope is that it stops as soon as possible and the people of the country in question get to establish their own democratic government. And everyone is happy ever after. It's kinda useless, you know, trying to take sides in any kind of military conflict in that way. You know, it's like with the Ukraine thing. When people have asked me, like, who do I support? Oh, you support Ukraine, but don't you know their government is corrupt? Well, I mean, I'm not really on the side of their government specifically. I'm more on the side of the people. You know, if they could stop getting bombed, that would be my preferred outcome. I know, pretty radical, being anti-war in the year of 2026. Rather than just succumbing to blind tribalism. When a lot of fake ones get thrown in, you start to doubt the real ones, I suppose. Yeah, I think that is the ultimate goal of all this AI stuff. It is to let whoever possesses the greatest capability of generating slop in a mass to control the narrative. I love when Americans start talking for other countries like their people can't speak. Right? It is literally that one meme of the foreigner person who's about to start saying something and then the virtuous American comes like, let me speak for you, minority. Or I guess not minority in this case, but like, you know, Venezuelans being like, hey, you know, I'm glad Maduro's gone. Oh, actually, he was just a man of the working people. He was a socialist hero. And his efforts to lift up the working class were only destroyed by CIA interference. Which I guess can be true. You know, they certainly don't like socialist governments. Not that I blame them. But yeah, I somehow think the most of the blame goes to the government who, you know, pretty clearly fucked up their oil industry by kicking out all of the people who actually know how to drill oil and replacing them with party loyalists. As the communists tend to do. Protest? Shoot 'em. Yep, that is the most efficient solution for sure. They can't start a revolution if they are not breathing. That's just math. That's some old school shit for sure. You know, more modern dictatorships like... Nope. Like China and Russia, you know, they don't do the whole gunning protesters down in the street thing anymore, so it's nice that at least some dictatorships are upholding the traditions. You know, they can't really be fucked to do that anymore. In the age of camera-equipped smartphones and whatnot, because it gets all kinds of messy. You know, even back there in 89, Tiananmen Square, it was a whole situation, you know, they had to explain a lot. Okay, you don't get it, they were actually a CIA whole revolution. It was a paramilitary organization, those students and their bicycles. We had to kill them. Not old Iran, they're just like, hey, you can't be saying stuff like that about our supreme leader. Blam. They'll just start blasting. They don't screw around over there. Man, you were actually right, this is pretty easy. I mean, I was struggling last time with those higher difficulty races, but I guess that's just in the higher performance classes. You know, when everybody's zipping around on, you know, like roided up McLarens and Ferraris and shit. You know, if I could steer with the right stick, I could probably like do something entirely different with my left hand and still win. I was about to say something distasteful, but chose not to. Things may not get better, maybe they will, but it sure is better to take that chance over knowing it will stay bad for sure. Yeah. You know, maybe we should do something similar over here too in the West. You know, I like to use like a hostage situation as a analogy. You know, because most people, they'll just patiently wait. Like, hey, so maybe somebody will come and save me. Or maybe the kidnapper will, like, let me go or something if I just convince them. Rather than, like, take a chance and fight them. Which one is the right option, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure... You know, I would not take the, I would not take the former option, let's just say. You know, if somebody kidnaps me and doesn't, like, restrain me, like I've heard so many cases where they're just left alone in a house and they just stay there. I would not do that. I would probably just walk out, rig the house with a trap. You know? Make some homemade caltrops, just sprinkle them around. Oh, but what if they come back and they got a gun? I don't know, then they will probably shoot you like they'll do anyways. At the end of this. Like these kidnapping cases. Where somebody's like held for months, like miles away. Just a few miles away from their house. Dude, just break a window and walk home. Like there are other houses around, just tell somebody to call the cops. How did your genes make it this far? You should sometime play Red Dead 1. It related commentary very well on throwing over a corrupt government. Oh, is that what it's about? Yeah, I've never even watched anybody play Red Dead 1, so... Maybe I should, you know, now that the world has a functioning PS3 emulator. Or I guess it's also available on PC now, or something. They love being bombed. Stop talking for them. Yeah, they're just, liberating the Russian-speaking population and, stopping NATO expansion and... I don't know. Pick any of the excuses. Ah yes, the good old kill the rich farmers and give the poor the land to farm and don't question if those poor people even know how to farm. Yeah, they never stop to wonder like, hey, I wonder why these farmers got so rich. Is it because they might be good at farming? I don't know. I forget who made the original tweet, but there is a pretty evergreen classic of somebody basically explaining like how communism is basically just some jealous ugly freaks like, you know, just taking your possessions out of spite without even like considering the consequences. You know what, you have more than I do, so I'm gonna take your stuff. You person who got rich by producing something, I'm gonna take your means of production, even though I don't know how to produce anything with them myself. Brilliant, now nobody has anything. Good job. Tiananmen Square, I actually nowadays see defense for that saying that the protesters started by killing the military. And if true, I get it, gun down the ones starting violence, but why gun down everyone? And why was the military sent out to deal with students? Yeah, that last question is really that's really the thing. And I mean, I think there... Wait, was there some kind of violence, but I think it might have been separate from the whole Tiananmen Square thing. Well, whatever the case, I'm pretty sure the students at Tiananmen Square didn't start any kind of violence, not at least one, something that would warrant death. That's also something you gotta watch out for, cause You know, the Chinese government, they have a pretty big propaganda department. They are trying to spread historical revisionism quite a bit. If you go on Twitter, you see it a lot. Like when you say anything bad about them. Or if you say like, you know, Taiwan's a country. Suddenly you get like 50 of these account based like quote unquote in East Asia or something. That start coming in there and saying all kinds of mean stuff. But from their language you can definitely tell like, oh, this is either definitely not like a native English speaker or like an experienced English speaker, or this has been like translated with Grok or something. You know, it's some account with like 50 bot followers created like 2 months ago. It's called like Jack Smith 127458. And there's a lot of that I've noticed, especially because of that one time I ratioed the Chinese propaganda outlet. Oh, they didn't like that. Highly skilled to unbeatable is a massive jump in difficulty, but highly skilled you are fine 90% of the time. Yeah. Seems to be that way. Also, if you can be bothered to learn a manual, you can drive faster, because automatic in Forza Horizon is very unoptimal. But it isn't necessary most of the time. Yeah, I've driven in manual sometimes. But I'm just kinda lazy, and I just can't be fucked to switch gears. Except if I have my steering wheel, which reminds me I still haven't brought it back here. Because it has like flappy pedals. They're very nice for switching gears. Are you saying you would break free and leave someone's house? Yeah, I know. Pretty reckless of me. Red Dead Redemption 1 is not about that, but one of the biggest chapters is about that. I won't spoil anything about the chapter, but it's just so good. Yeah, I gotta play it again. Yeah, like I'm all for higher taxes for the rich, but communism is the wrong way to go. Yeah, it's, you know, it's too far in the other direction. Call me a centrist cock, but I think the middle is pretty good. You know, you have free markets. You have capitalism. You have the private sector. But you also have a government to like stop them from doing anything insane. You know, like a slightly regulated free market. And you don't have to take my word for it, look at the historical record of that working every goddamn time. And it only goes wrong when you start going in too far in either direction. You let the government get too big, they'll fuck you in the ass. You let the big private sector get too big, they'll fuck you in the ass. Currently they're both fucking us in the ass. So I don't really know what the solution to that is. Besides, you know, eating them. I believe in the 1 billion cap, you don't need more than a billion. Well, ideally we would have enough competition to prevent from that even existing. Although I don't think like a billionaire is necessarily bad, like you have a couple of billion. You know, like take Notch, he made Minecraft, right? He sold however many copies and he made, I think, nearly a billion or over a billion. Just by selling a video game, so... You know, it can happen. I don't think Notch is out there doing anything bad. Besides, like, you know, voicing some very spicy opinions. And if they do something to warrant death, just kill the ones who did the big bad. Yeah, you know. Take them down. Don't just be like, hey, you know, somebody in that crowd threw a bottle at me. Let's beat all of them to death. Government should always be run by minimum 2, but preferably more parties with opposing beliefs, so one party can never get too powerful. Yeah, and I mean, even 2 is kind of a, you know, not quite enough, as you can probably see from the US. Then it just becomes like, you know, a team sport. Oh, you don't want the orange guy who will, I don't know, just start imposing random tariffs based on his personal feelings of the day? Well, then you gotta vote for the Democrat Skinwalker, who will start the same amount of wars, but will be better at basketball or something. I mean, shit, they could have had Bernie Sanders in 2016 if, you know, they didn't have this fucking system. Because, you know, the party can just decide, like, oh, well, you know, this guy's, like, way more popular than this fucking old harpy. But we're gonna go with the old harpy anyways, because, you know, they paid us more, I'm assuming. What do you need more than $1 billion for? I mean, what do you need too much of anything for? I don't think it's really the government's place to decide that. All I'm, you know, asking for is, you know, what was the right term? Like, regulating the market enough that there won't be any, like, monopolies, you know, that the biggest companies that control all sectors of a certain industry won't, like, band together and, you know, do that whole thing. And that all companies and individuals pay their fair share of taxes, which they, you know, don't. Because there exist all kinds of loopholes for that shit. They can like move their funds to an offshore account where there are no taxes imposed on them. You know, like in the US, if like Apple and Google and Microsoft and all those companies paid their fair share of taxes, they'd be doing a whole lot better. This turned into kind of a strangely political stream. Where did I even get here from? I think I started talking about, like, the F-14's getting blown up, being sad about it. Which is, you know, kind of a shame. I like those planes. They look really cool. But it is also kind of crazy that they still had, you know, F-14s in active service in Iran. They also had some like American tanks from the fucking 60s still in service. Or I guess have, I don't think those have been destroyed yet. Here we go, another victory. I think that's all 3 of them. Like have 1 year to put that extra money to use or paid in taxes. Oh, maybe. Haven't really thought about a system like that. Like you can't hoard wealth. Or you couldn't hoard that much wealth. You either have to put it into something or you pay additional taxes. Well, yeah, I don't know, maybe. Maybe that could work, I don't know, I'm not really a economist. Alright, so now we get a Honda Civic 84. Yeah, I don't know, I guess that's cool. Good World 5 would be the minimum, so there's not number 1 outlier always, but sadly in this world 2 is the bare minimum because some countries have 1. Yeah, I guess I'll give it a like, it was pretty good. Yeah, I mean we have like how many? I'm not even sure. I don't even know it right off the bat, there's a few. Keskusta, SDP, demokraatit. I don't know, there's like 6 or 7 maybe. Hold up, I gotta look this up because that's kind of embarrassing not knowing how many political parties my country has. Okay, key political parties. Gonna check the English names at the same time, because I don't really know most of them besides the Finns. Okay, so there's Kansallinen Kokoomus or National Coalition Party. Then there's the Finns, the Perussuomalaiset. Supposedly right-wing populists, but not really. Social Democratic Party, Center Party, Greens, Left Alliance, Swedish People's Party, Christian Democrats, and the Movement Now, which I guess is like a pretty new party. So yeah, those are the ones we have, quite a few of them. Which I think is a good amount of parties to have in the parliament, but they're pretty much all the same, so it's not really making any difference. Which is, you know, also a thing that can happen. A800 and the Jaguars, I mean, that could be fun. Byrne is so good, but they don't want him, like, why? Well, I think we know why. the establishment don't want it. He would have stopped them from making tons of money. Like, wasn't that one of his big things? Like, he was gonna like limit the size of like individual donations, or make it entirely so that, you know, political candidates can't be, what's the word, or, you know, like just put on into lobbying or something. That would have been very, very bad for them, for all those moneyed interests, the military industrial complex and Silicon Valley and the banks and whatnot. They wouldn't have liked that one a bit. And also all these other crazy ideas like, I don't know, cutting military spending and putting that money into like healthcare, education. So all kinds of dangerous radical ideas from that guy. No wonder they didn't have him. You know, I just wished Bernie would have had a bit more balls. He would have just gone independent after the Democrats, like, swooped his legs from under him. Let's say you can have $1 billion, but after you make 100 million, you pay 5% extra taxes for every 100 million you have. Oh yeah, I guess I should get one of my Jaguars a tuning kit to up into 800. Or like, I guess lower than to 800, I guess they might be actually over the limit. So I guess that's not allowed, that's not allowed. So is it just modern Jaguars? Yeah, I guess I gotta buy one. Whatever. Whatever, like I said, you know, I have fucking tons of money. I don't really need to even think about it. But yeah, I don't know, maybe something like that could work in theory. Though you do have to be careful not to, like, disincentivize people from making more money. Because in fact, the more money in the economy is a good thing. You kinda have to balance it. But again, you know, I'm not really a mathematician or economist, so I don't really know the answer right off the bat. Also, Nvidia was supposed to be broken up by the US government. Even Trump said it would be wrong to let Nvidia stay so big. Oh yeah, I mean, they have like trillions tied up in them. You know, if Nvidia like suddenly goes under for some reason. You know, like Jensen Huang comes out as a furry or something and their stock prices tank. That'd be a pretty big hit. If they fund a competitor, it would take 8 years to catch up. And Nvidia is making CPUs now. It's too much. And one dinner later, Trump changed his mind about Nvidia being broken up. Yeah, he's very easily convinced, it seems. did get strangely very political. It does do that sometimes, you know, sometimes you just stumble into a topic. No hoarding wealth beyond 1 billion, you have to create jobs with it and such. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't be the worst way to go about it. Mayhaps your first Hortzathon. Hortzathon time. Oh yeah, that's starting in like... when? Like minutes? When is it starting? Where do I even see it? It's on the map somewhere. Big pink circle. Do I zoom out? Big pink circle. I'm not seeing a big pink circle. Well. Yes, we'll just do this one. What was the reward? A Ford Racing Puma. No idea what that is. 6 parties, a bunch of reformists, some centrist socialists, a fascist. They had a guy dressed like Hitler. Ooh. Eesti 200 Long Plan and Isama. Fatherland. Yeah, I kind of figured because that's almost the exact same word as in the Finnish. In the Finnish would be isänmaa. Just 2 letters of difference. It's kind of funny. I don't know what their policy is, but I can guess. Yeah, I would guess either like a right-wing party or a... you know, maybe like a fake right-wing party, like we have. Oh yes, we're gonna clamp down on illegal immigration. And we're gonna put a stop to this liberal nonsense of pissing away our money on foreign countries that have nothing to do with us. Then they get into the government and they do nothing. Oh. I guess we've been bamboozled. Pure evil, that guy, honestly. How dare he try to improve the country instead of focus on gender identities? Right? Hey man, you can't just not focus on the weird psyop we created to stop people focusing on real problems. Can't do that. That lightweight looks nice. Does, but it's 10 million. Don't think I wanna spend half my money on it. I can't decide. I don't know what the hell, let's get this one. What? I don't want any of this. Go away. Oh, he's trying to get me to buy a design. I don't want them. Why do I have to get a design? Stop it. You need to get a lighter. That's a weird function to have. Yeah, fuck it, I guess this is not terrible. Not getting a fucking Anymaker library. Nvidia, shut up. Became the world's most valuable company, worth 5 trillion, even bigger than Apple. 5 trillion is insane. You could buy a country with 5 trillion. Estonian was heavily inspired by Finnish. Yep, we are. We are our brother nations. Actually, here fatherland is a very nationalistic thing. It doesn't really hold right or left-wing views. We are united under the fatherland, where we are all born. It's in our anthem and all. Yeah, I understand the concept, but like, you know, typically political parties named like Fatherland or Motherland or something tend to be more right-wing. You know, they're not always that way necessarily. Just statistically, you know. Usually Fatherland is heavily focused on us, those who are not foreigners. Yeah, that would be nice though for a change. Our government working for us. Instead of like, I don't know, funding what was it? Because I read like a whole bunch of like research that our government had funded. And I think they put like 500,000 to like studying women's music in Nepal or something. Okay. I don't see how that benefits us, but I suppose that's important. Just 31 grand. That's not bad. Okay, let's get to racing now that I've discussed the state of the world and pondered the state of the economy and the way forwards. Vote for me in 2028. I don't know, maybe I'll fuck around one day and actually run. I mean, I probably won't win, they'll probably assassinate me, but it'd be a fun time. Because I think at the moment not being like a career politician might actually be like a benefit. Because I could just go in there and tell them to like, you know, just directly ask them to answer a question. Because if there's one thing I'm good at, it is cutting through bullshit. And I think that is exactly what the world needs at the moment. You just gotta cut through all the nonsense, you know, somebody tries asking about culture war issues and you just tell them to shut up. But what do you think about the non-binaries? Listen here. The world economy is tanking and job market's destroyed. People are not having kids anymore. The fucking age pyramid is inverted. Everybody's fat, everybody's sick. Cancer is on the fucking rise. You want me to like focus on like Tumblr issues from 2016? Be gone, journalist. You know, something along those lines. We can get to those things later after we, you know, stop civilization from collapsing. Let's drive in the first person for a bit. I haven't done that in a while. And win. This actually reminds me the biggest shill in sim racing is actually getting a contract with Fanatec. His real-life GT3 car has a Fanatec livery and... Well, I'm wondering how it will end up though, since he has for years only used Monza stuff while sim racing. Monza is a great budget gear, but there's better stuff for more money. I wonder if he will just drop all his mods and go to Fanatec because of his contract. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Like on camera, he'll be using his sponsor stuff. Holy wall of text. It's fine. Promise everyone a free pony if you become president. I don't think I would do that because I just don't like horses. Don't like horses, don't trust them. I don't trust the horse. I'm sure you can ride them around and stuff, but I've seen too many videos of horses just casual like eating small birds. Like, brother, you have hay right there. You have oats. Why'd you eat that tiny bird? I've seen them I've seen them step on chickens just for fun. There is something very, very off about horses. I don't think they have like emotions. Actually, someone in the US did pull it off. He became a New York's mayor or governor. Forgot which, because there's a state and a city named New York, and I just spoke to the people. And the one, he didn't focus on the bullshit that gets funding. Oh yeah, fuck, what's his name? Mamdani. Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't pay much attention to the whole mayoral race, but I mean, apparently he's doing like pretty good stuff. Like, I heard all the bullshit about him being like a socialist and a fucking radical Muslim or something. Which doesn't seem to be true. Really. Seems like a pretty moderate guy. You know, maybe a bit further to the left. But, yeah, I mean, didn't he, like, basically get into office and just get, like, New Yorkers free, or, you know, like taxpayer-paid daycare or something? See, I think that's what people are discovering now. From all this stuff, you know, from Trump and his cabinet and this Mamdani guy and all these other kind of a bit more far out there politicians that don't really play like the old establishment, is that you can just kind of do stuff. You know, the establishment tells you like, oh no, that takes a while, you know, there's a lot of research, a lot of setting up. Turns out that's not true. Yeah, you can just be like, oh, this thing that we know is causing people cancer, we can just ban it. You know, we introduced the bill, we put it to a vote in the Congress, and it's gone. Because why wouldn't be? We've already done the research. I mean, we're like testing stuff all the time. Also, why is my avatar nodding so deeply? Also, I heard the funniest thing from that guy while that guy being interviewed, when you get into office, what country will you visit? Everyone answered Israel, and that guy went, I will stay in New York with my people, why would I leave? Oh yeah. You know, actually. That I actually liked. You know, it's kind of like a similar thing to Bernie, where I don't really agree with everything he says. Or even most of it, but... You know, just the simple act of, like, being like... I'm not gonna go to fucking Israel. I'm an American politician. What the fuck would I go to Israel for? And that order some points, like hell yeah. I might not agree with him, but at least he's a real person. Like, why would the mayor of New York go to Israel? If they say that, then you know for sure, like, oh, they've got something on it. They've paid you, they're blackmailing you. There's something. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the guy does. Because he actually does seem like willing and capable of actually doing stuff. Which, like I said, you know, that's kind of a thing we haven't seen in a while in politicians. You know, usually they just try to retain the status quo so they can collect their paychecks from their donors, you know, not the tiny bag the government gives them by comparison. They say all the right stuff to the voters so they can stay in office. And then they just like kick all the balls down the road. Or the cans, whatever the expression is. But no, this guy seems like he actually wants to, you know, better things. Whether or not he will succeed, that will be seen in probably some years. As the positive or negative effects will take some time to manifest. I mean, it's at least a hell of a lot better than the alternative. Excuse me, could you get out of the way? Trying to win a race here. Gonna have to get a bit aggressive. These fools won't move. Seems my first-person racing skills are a bit rusty. And then hammer down for the last stretch. Let's go. Bam. The interviewer's script did not prepare her and she went, why won't you visit Israel? That's fun. Horses don't like government drones. I guess so. If he did, that's a W. Yeah, I mean, if there's something that should be either subsidized or, you know, funded by taxpayer money, then I think it would be childcare. That's something you want to guarantee for everybody. I mean, preferably your economy would be in a good enough state that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily need childcare. You know, the income of one parent could support the whole family and the other parent could stay home with the children, but barring that, yeah, why not? Yeah, you can just do shit, and whether that's good or bad is eh. But yeah, they can do it, the only thing that stops them is funding. Yeah. Sadly, that doesn't get superbugs in the States, which are basically the main driving force of winning. That is true and unfortunate. Is this guy following me? Listen here, son, I'm on a winning streak, I don't got time to play around. Don't be following me, I'm not looking for friends, I'm looking to win. Beat it. Oh. That was a strange turn. Once again, I've forgotten to drive on the wrong side of the road. Doing nothing is worse than doing anything, because if you do nothing, nothing changes. Yeah. Or, you know, at least if your country's not doing too well. You know, of course, if there's nothing wrong with your country, then by all means, just maintain it. GG winning streak going well, yeah. Just getting one podium place after another. Childcare is important. Big reason people aren't having kids in Japan. It's unaffordable. But a lot of Westerners will blame the gooning stuff they do, like VR6 suits. Yeah, that's not the cause. I'm not saying it doesn't have any effect on it, but still, at the end of the day, the people who are just like chronic masturbators, to put it in a clinical way, who just, won't go outside. They'll stay in all day and, I don't know, beat their meat to some Marvel Rivals animations, whatever they're watching these days, it's still pretty small. Most people are normal. Most people are out there trying to get work. They're trying to, you know, date and start families and whatnot. Once again, I think that that stuff is just, you know, they're just blowing its shit out of proportion to distract people from the real problems. Like, yeah, go fight pornography. Don't actually address the main reasons of the low birth rates, which are, you know, mainly economic, some with infertility, of course, as well. That's been rising for the last few decades. But yeah, turns out people don't like to have children when they can't afford it. In which case they usually point to like some, I don't know, like some fucking Middle Eastern country, but like, oh, but they're really poor and they're having children. Yeah, that's also because they're uneducated. You know? If you want to maintain your population at the very least, then you either have to have a stupider populace, or you have to have, or, you know, if you have a more educated populace, you gotta have economic stability. That is just a very simple truth, and any other claims are either just distractions or, you know, some religious groups with agendas who thinks the boobs are evil. Oh, you can't go on the internet and look at a titty. That will summon the Satan. Okay, well, this is going kinda poorly. Maybe I should actually switch back to third person. Can see a bit better. One full branch. Slow down, I'm trying to win here. Go, just gotta stick to the inside, you know, keep the lines tight. Just barely made it. Also, Forza Horizon 6 Japan looking better. Map is so exciting. Yeah, I figured it would be. Because that's just a, like, infinitely better choice for a racing game than fucking Britain. You know, I get the team is from the UK, but, you know, the developers. But still, like, Who thinks about the UK when you think about racing, really? Like to think of so many other countries before I even consider the UK. France, Italy, Spain even. I mean, shit, probably even Germany. At least they have like the Autobahn and the Nürburgring. And then probably like Japan, the US. Not the fucking UK though, I mean. It's the worst country for racing. Notoriously so. Like every time the Top Gear boys went abroad to like the US or the, you know, continental Europe, they were always wondering like, why the hell do we do Top Gear in the UK? This is the worst country to do a car show in. You either have like congested highways that have like ridiculously low speed limits, or you know, just congested towns like London. Or then you have like these small villages with like tiny narrow roads. Just the worst possible place. Maybe Scotland. Maybe Scotland would have been okay, but you know, of course they didn't include that in this game. The only place that actually looks good and is probably nice to drive. Oh yeah, I forgot to even check what car we got. What should we do? Well, I guess I should wrap this up pretty soon if I intend to work out today, but what would be a short enough race? Well, I guess there's like a rally nearby. Might as well. Gotta maintain what's good and change what's bad. Yeah. Don't call me out like that. Hey, I mean, I've seen those animations too. Like, what's the one? What's the one that everybody was talking about? The one with the big old thighs. I've seen stuff. I appreciate it. So teen moms are down, and that also contributes to lower birth rates. A lot of people used to have kids at 14 to 19. Yeah. So really the reason birth rates are down is because people are more educated and having kids at a more, or considering having kids at a more mature age where they can consider their future. And you know, since the economy is in the shitter, they're like, oh, I can't provide for this hypothetical child. And then they put it off. And a lot of them end up putting it off so long that, you know, that just becomes unrealistic for them. Really not a difficult puzzle to solve, but everybody still insists on lying about it. I really want you to play Forza Horizon 5 so you can appreciate Forza Horizon 4. Pirate it if you have to. Yeah, maybe I will. You know, not pirate it, of course, because that would be illegal and I don't do crimes. But you know, if it's like on sale for $2 or, you know, maybe for free on Epic Games, if that ever happens, I might get it just to see what it's all about. Forza Horizon 2 was Italy, if I recall right. 1 was US. 3 was Australia. Yeah, Australia could actually be pretty nice for a game like this. Maybe I should play 3. You know, just a lot of long empty roads in like pretty nice looking sceneries. Yeah, you know, maybe. Alright, I should probably get a tune for this car. Wait, fuck. I forgot to check the... Oh no, wait, this is just a regular race, right? I don't need to worry about the level. Never mind. I just forgot where I was. Seasonal trap would be short. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do that too after this one. I doubt this will take very long. There we go, got a nice soundtrack for this too. You know, sometimes I wonder what kind of drugs they were doing back in the 80s. You know, what made them write songs like this? Because there were a lot of them. Final countdown, you know, Eye of the Tiger. Living on a prayer. Not sure what to call them, but you know what I mean. You know, 70s they were writing all kinds of weird shit because they were doing like LSD and mushrooms. 60s it was more weed, so they were just very relaxed. And now they're like doing, I don't know, Xanax, so the music sucks. You know, this thing about taking mollies and shit. Like that's like a hard thing. Yeah man, I'm taking mollies. Oh, so you're just kind of feeling yourself and... You know, just enjoying the feeling of your couch or something? Getting emotional? Wow man, you're so hard. I don't know, that just kinda sounds stupid to me. taking mollies and taking... What is the other one? Adderall. Like, dude, that's like a... That's like a pharmaceutical amphetamine. Oh yeah, I'm taking Addies, I'm real focused. Yeah. Nah man, we gotta invent a new drug so we can get some... We can change this shit up a little bit. You know, if one of these mumble rappers like some bath salts, take him to the studio, see what they do. That'd be interesting. No, come on, don't do it. And don't be trying to win, that's my thing. That's my brand. Come on, Volkswagen Touareg. Oh, come on. Come on. Man. Playing Forza Horizon 5 made me Forza Horizon 4 old reliable. That is kinda sad when that happens. The new game comes out and then you're like, oh, this is kinda bad. I might just go back to the old one. Reminder 3 can't be bought. I did link you the guy who does delisted games though. Oh yeah, I did. I have it bookmarked. I really recommend Forza Horizon 1 over 3 though. 3 the map is scored... The MARP. 3 the map is gorgeous, but Forza Horizon 1 the music and characters and the car culture is just mwah. That's good, because I like the culture. I like when people dressed in loose baggy pants and ripped jeans and hats get together in a dark parking lot with Mazdas and old Challengers and Nissans and shit. They get together and they say cool stuff to each other. I like the 40s and 50s music. What was 40s and 50s music? What did they do back then? Like jazz? I guess they did jazz back then too, but what was like the main thing? I know in the 60s and 70s they did like a lot of folk music. You know, rock was starting to take off a little bit. There's a lot of swing, at least in the US. That's just a hole in my knowledge. I don't think I've ever listened to much 40s and 50s music. Maybe 50s. She fucking dabbed on me. Goddamn. That's brutal. I thought your brand was restarting. Not anymore, I've pivoted. Rebranding. Spent all day winning, except this race, I guess. Ooh, a wheel spin. Do you know what? I actually would have preferred the round shades. That would have been cool. 1 was all about the culture, 2 was still about the culture, but it feels like they were riding the success of 1, and 3 was good, but the start of the downfall with annoying characters becoming more common. Yeah, why did that happen though? When did that happen? Who started it so I can go back in time and kill them? So this is something. seasonal warning sign. Open cast cliff, I don't even know what that means. But yeah, I think I'm gonna change my car. Let's see, is there anything I haven't driven yet that would be kinda cool? Maybe a Chevy Nova Super Sport, that sounds cool. Forza Horizon 3, everyone talks about the map, no one mentions the characters and music for a reason. The map is the best one, but that's all it has. Well, I mean, that's something. Sure, it would be good if the music was good and the characters weren't cringe and annoying. But I mean, I played the Crew 1 for that reason pretty much, just because it had a cool map. I didn't give a shit about the characters, I'm pretty sure I muted the dialogue right away as I opened the game. You know, right as I heard the first lines of dialogue, I was like, Nope, zip that up. Which now points to Ivory Tower, because at least they gave you the option to shut them. And I guess I got a wheel spin, okay. What? No? Okay, I guess they liked them. Oh well. Oh, it's got a horizontal speedo. Hell yeah. Love these goofy ass things. Fine, I'm fine. No, that's 6. It just never fails to amuse me. Just throwing out the back. Stepping on the gas. Not really the ideal rally car, but it is fun. It just starts sliding the moment I press the gas. Right, so what is this thing? Oh. Oh, I see what this is. Oh yeah. Let's go. Right, so we're gonna be accelerating on a dirt road, so what would be the ideal vehicle for that? Oh, and I guess that's my new car. Honestly, this just looks like an evil Mondeo. which I'm not entirely opposed to. I like the Mondeo. You know, it kind of started the late 90s, early 2000s trend of you know, sedans and estate cars. All of them looked like that for a while. Apart from maybe like Mercedeses. Or whatever the plural for them is. Mercedes. Mercedii. You know, everybody else just copied them for a long time. But that was like the OG. At least as far as I know. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Caterham did pretty well on the dirt road. Maybe we'll just try that. It's fast, it's slim, but it's still got like plenty of ground clearance. Or at least enough, I don't know about plenty. Truck Stories a W. I don't know nothing about that, but I'll take your word for it. Also, the coolest part of the Forza Horizon 3 is they use the real Australian sky. They got like a year's worth of Australian sky to put in the game. So it's different every time and not in an artificial way. Oh, that's cool. That's cool when they do it. You know, like, what was the game? Was it Battlefield 1? I don't know, I just remember one of the Battlefields they, like, recorded. They got, like, some kind of specialized microphone to, like, record actual gunshots for the game. I think it was a Battlefield. And it probably was Battlefield 1 because the gun sounds in that game are just fucking spectacular. You know, like firing a Martini Henry indoors in Battlefield 1. That sounds like a gun. You know, because in most shooter games, guns just sound like... You know, like a small stone hitting a soda can. No, they actually sound like guns in that one. Now imagine this with a wheel and triple screens so you can just look out of the car window. That's the dream setup for any car game with first person. That would be cool. I wonder what it'd be like racing with like a VR headset. Probably weird. Also, it's new seasons, you can save up for a new backstage pass, just something to think about for the next stream if we will do Forza again. I might stream something else next time, but... I definitely will still be streaming Forza. In the near future. You got not SUV. Yeah, but I reckon this is faster. Even if it is a bit hard to control. Forza-thon, it would take 5 minutes to complete and you can put it towards the backstage pass. Yeah, maybe. That's W love good sounds, that's true, that's a very underrated part of games. Like, it's actually it's actually wild how many big budget games just don't pay attention to it. Like, I think the best gun sounds are still... I think Stalker Gamma, actually. Which is crazy, because that's a free game made by fans. And they got, like, the gun sounds right, more so than, like... I don't know, Call of Duty or something. Like they straight up fucking cleared them. You know, like shooting a suppressed M4 in Stalker Gamma. Like, yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty close to the real thing. I feel like I'm shooting a real gun. Instead of, you know, just like a toy that's making gun-type sounds from a speaker, which is what most games sound like. But hey, let's do this run before I get off on another tangent. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit hard to control. Two stars. I guess we could aim for 3. The not SUV is also stock, you can make it faster. Maybe we'll try. Oh wait, I might have put it on sale. I'm not sure if it's sold though, but I was like, you know, I don't want a not SUV in my collection. Yeah, no, I think I sold it. Oh well, I mean, I don't have a shortage of off-road vehicles by any means. Try the Toyota. Forza Horizon 5 did one thing right. Also, they recorded the car sound of almost every car. That's good. That's good at least, that's important. You know, especially for car and shooting games, I think sounds are almost as important as graphics. Which might be a hot take, I know. But just think about how, you know... Well, maybe not in shooter games, but at least in car games, like it's so disappointing. You get like, I don't know... That classic Mercedes-Benz, you know, the one from the 50s, I think. The one they copied for GTA 5. Was it the CL 500 or something? Well, you probably know what I mean, but it's got like a pretty fucking phenomenal engine sound. You know, getting something like that and then discovering it sounds like somebody's just doing raspberries on the microphone. That's kind of disappointing. That's kind of sad. Oh, viewers, oh boy. I got a VR headset on my rally with it a lot, and I can say it's super cool. Yeah, I definitely wanna get into like VR games one day as well. Especially for the racing reasons, because I feel like, you know, Forza Horizon or The Crew or like Dirt Rally could be really cool. There, it has been a lot of Forza back-to-back, yeah, I don't think I've streamed anything else this month. It is worth a lot, yeah, I think I sold it for like a couple million. Most Forza Horizon games just use engine sound of the file. Sadly true, and so, you know, that's the same case in The Crew 1 and 2 as well. One game that surprisingly did engine sounds really well in some cases was GTA 5. Like I was just talking about the Mercedes that was copied for the game. That actually sounds fucking awesome. like turn the sound effects up in GTA 5, you know, maybe enable bass boosting, and the cars just actually, some of them sound like beautiful. Like the old cars especially. The convertible Corvette. The Mercedes, you know, the... What's that other one? I guess there's another open-top Corvette. They all sound fucking amazing. Why don't more of them do it? I don't think it would be that expensive to like just go somewhere and record the car. And you can probably already find a lot of them on the internet anyways. Why is Circle not working? Or B? Okay. Forza Horizon 5, the cars revving up and stuff, it's a guttural feeling, it just feels so good. Yeah man, that's fucking... like a low V8 rumble. I don't know what it is about them, but... just tickles you. It just tickles some part of your brain. Some a part of your brain. You know, like rumbling V8s. Jet fighters going whoosh. Machine guns. Power tools. You know, I'm not the manliest man there ever was, but I can definitely appreciate all of those. Alright, let's go. Okay, 2:45. Oh yeah, that's a bit longer. Man.
Just checking the data here on my laptop. Looks like, yep, that was more than crazy enough.
Nice. Well, I think that's gonna be it. Quest 3 is a good option on a budget. 3S is a good option on a budget. 300 buckaroos. I paid 600 for the Quest 3. Now I wish I got 3S since I don't use the onboard computer a lot. Yeah, I don't really need that either. Can just hook it up to my computer. If I ever win a lottery, I'm buying a big screen Beyond 2. Is that a VR headset or something? Like, this card sounds like almost every other card, but in Forza Horizon 5 it sounds right. Yeah, I wouldn't even be so mad if the, like, default engine sound was, like, nice, but... it just isn't. It sounds like an appliance. Like shit, aren't there like a bunch of open source sound effects that you could apply to these cars based on their, you know, size and mass, like the type of exhaust system they have? Like fuck, I probably could have done that. What do you got a fucking audio engineering budget of $100? Christ. Is the Forza Stone over though? Maybe I would Forza Stone if it's still on.
Nice work with the data.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's only 12:07.
All about weight or acceleration, or do you just bomb it as fast as you can?
I might still have time for a... or I do still have time for a... quick one, but I guess it's not open anymore. Okay. Big Screen Beyond 2 is a really small 8K resolution VR headset. It is so small it's like a small pair of goggles and it gets made for your face. So zero light leakage, but it's 1.2 thousand euros. That sounds pretty sick actually. It also needs to be wired to the PC. Oh, so you can't like... you couldn't like play like a Beat Saber with it. Unless you just get a really long cable, I guess. But yeah, I think that'll have to do for tonight. Well, I guess I won't close the game quite yet. Gotta put some more cars up on the auction. But hey, thanks to everybody who stopped by. I appreciate it, and I will probably see you guys... not actually sure. A bunch of stuff to do. I got some more bug fixing to do over the weekend. Tomorrow I gotta do my taxes. Not that I made enough to be taxed, but you know, I gotta fill it out anyways, you know, report my income. Which I got from like 17 different places, so that's gonna be fun. And I guess I'm probably gonna be playing Battlefield with the boys over the weekend, so probably no stream on weekend either. I mean, I don't know, maybe I can fit one in on Saturday, but if not, I guess I'll be back on Monday. Yeah, something along those lines. Something vaguely in that direction. But of course, I will let you guys know once I'm going live next time, so... There you go. Also, it has foveated rendering, so whatever you look at it, it's rendered at the highest resolution and stuff. You aren't looking at the lower quality. So it's easier to run. That's good. Because I'm thinking the alternative could cause some, like, disorientation and headaches, maybe. Yup, gotta tell the government how much money I made, which is not a lot. But I still gotta tell them, cause I don't know. They wanna know for some reason. Like, I don't know, you're not getting any of it, so why do you care? Sent you a pic of the big screen beyond too. It's so small. Okay, well I guess I'll check that out before going. Oh yeah, that's small. That's downright tiny compared to the other popular ones. But yeah. Oh, now I closed the event. I was gonna do the auction. Well, whatever. I'm gonna go lift so I can become ripped, so I can be a male model if the whole game development thing doesn't work out. I'll see you guys maybe on Saturday, but definitely on Monday. Yeah. Good night.